friends. Kat Kabira here, and greetings from America. I think it's been many years since I've actually left you a video from the United States of America, which is my birthplace, New York. I'm not in New York right now. And it's a beautiful spring day. I just wanted to share with you some of the sunshine, and I don't know if you can hear the birds, but it's beautiful out. And I was reflecting on, as I have this course called Illumination coming up next week, starting March 24th. And it's a 6-week deep dive into your own energy body, and how really this energy school that I've created, the Kabira School of Energy, is I started the journey 25 years ago in a way to heal my own trauma, my own addictions, being suicidal, eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, and really how to make sense of and how to clarify, to transform the pain, the various abuse that I had experienced, and how to really step back into power. And most importantly, how to see clearly, how to see myself clearly, how to see reality, how to see others clearly, and to not view everything through the lens of trauma. And what really sparked for me today is how much I love being home. And I'm going to be a little personal right now. I really did not like coming home to America. I started traveling when I was 15 years old, and became an expat early on. And although there was a healthy curiosity that I had, and just a wanderlust that was very natural, there was also a side of me that was kind of rejecting home, rejecting self, rejecting my tribe, thinking there was something better. There was definitely the seeker and the searcher, which I think is a necessary, like, if you have that in you, you have to kind of feed it. Like, you have to go on that journey to find out what it's all about. But to finally arrive, home again, and I've already extended my ticket for another 2 weeks, and really feeling the blessing of wanting to be here, and feeling how there used to be a lot of kind of triggers and old pain that was just really easily activated, and how smooth and settled it is. And my own maturity, and being able to just kind of sit and witness and observe, and seeing the compassion and the almost having a sense of humor around all the quirks, and seeing where the ancestral trauma might still play out, and just how important it is. I work with a lot of students who struggle with being here, and I'm curious if that resonates with you, whether you struggle with being in your body, or being at home in your city, or feeling like you never belong anywhere. Is there that seeking for home and belonging, which makes it hard to really feel like you can settle internally, and part of it is a function of age, and part of it is just really okay, what is the real activation when we talk about ground? It's more than just being in your body or being in nature. It's like, I want to be here. I am fully embodying and embracing all that I am. And something that I really cover in my courses, and especially Illumination, is what do we do with this part of ourself who rejects ourself or rejects others? There's that fear of rejection that on an unconscious level, the fear of rejection and abandonment on an unconscious level pretty much affects all of us. And we do our own dances and games to avoid that feeling and from that happening. And there can also be, for a lot of us, especially, if you have any sort of addictions or disorders, of just rejection of self, and how do we actually really integrate all the pieces of who we are, not just fragments of it, or not just what we think is okay. How do we really open and see ourselves, a totality, including those areas that we might be ashamed of, or feel like our shadow, and I guess as a side note, how do you healthily do shadow work? That's something that has come up a lot in conversation with my clients over the past couple of weeks. How to do that. How do you actually dive into your shadows where you can still stay stable and have a sense of humor around it and integrate it, like really turn it into a place of power. When is it appropriate to do shadow work? And when is it something where it's like, well, wait, we need to stabilize and build this sense of self first before we go there. So that's my curiosity to you, is, what's your relationship with home? What's your relationship with belonging? Because I feel like it's in an important initiation that we go through. And especially now with what's happening in the world, like our world is kind of it has been going through and is continuing to go through a reshuffling. And where is our ground in all this? Because underneath all of it, there's a possibility of light and sweetness and peace, and not the kind of like love, light, and peace that we kind of plaster on stuff, when you first start doing the work, like, oh, I'm going to pretend to be okay with this. I'm going to pretend to be calm. And, we can't pretend, if you're feeling fucked up and angry, like, how do you meet those parts of yourself? How do you meet the realness of who you are, without letting it overtake you, without like going reactionary, without suppressing? Like it is like this inner ninja, like martial art, and that's my passion, is how to teach you how to be this inner ninja with your inner landscape, that ends up actually creating this reality that you're living in. And how do you really see what's real and not through the lens of your trauma? So, if anything that I said kind of like sparked anything in you, I'd love to have a conversation. I'd love for you to join Illumination. I'm keeping this group small. It's a 6-week course, and it only happens once a year. And it's part of my level 1 of Kabir energetics. It's perfect if you're new to this work, but I also have long-term yoga teachers, coaches, psychologists who come and join. And part of it too is that a lot of us have an intelligence on, an intellectual level in the mental field. And where my interest lies is like the embodiment. I know embodiment is kind of like it's like people just kind of throw the word around now. But it's like, it has to be living in your body. It has to be integrated. It has to be in your energy system. How do you know, like, it for real? Like, how is it? It's like living in you, it's something that you're no longer thinking about or practicing. It's just like almost automatic, it's bringing your unconscious to the conscious. So it's like, we want to bring this intellectual awareness that we might have, maybe you've been reading a lot of books or taking courses, but like, we want to bring it physically, also emotionally, through your subtle energetic system, so that you can truly live like in a real way. How do you get to live in a real way, in a free way, in a sovereign way, in an authentic way? So I wish you such a beautiful day. I hope wherever you are, whatever the weather is, that you're having some coziness. And I really hope to see you soon, whether it's online or in person. And have a beautiful, beautiful day.